Today we are reading from In Love at Ease, Everyday Spirituality with Pramukh Swami Maharaj. This was an interesting figure, prominent figure, who died only several years ago. He was the president and guru of an interesting international organization known as BAPS Swami Narayan Sanstha. Several years ago, of an interesting Sanstha. I think it cut me out there for a second. So do let me know when my connection has returned. It's good that I didn't start reading yet. Can we turn off the yippee during the reading? Yes, we can do that. Okay, as I said, I'm going to read from a short section of In Love at Ease, and hopefully we can learn from Swamishri how we can also become in love and at ease. Sorry for the plane passing by. We're in the third chapter now about being eyeless. This is capital I, ego. This eyeless existence left an impression on the minds of many. The late Subhashbhai Patel of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, was a fearless and boisterous entrepreneur. Over the years, Subhashbhai's conglomerate, Motesun Ltd, I always forget what that stands for, grew into one of East Africa's largest and most reputed manufacturing companies. Subhashbhai was a towering personality with a vocal and intimidating presence. Yet, when it came to sharing his room, office, or corporate chair, he did so willingly after witnessing only one interaction with Swamishri. LTD stands for Limited. Thank you for telling me. Swamishri was in Subhashbhai's ancestral town of Bochasan in central Gujarat. The major festivities in celebration of Guru Purnima had recently concluded. Swamishri was seated on his asana during an evening assembly when he noticed a wandering ascetic enter the Sabha hall, the assembly hall. The ascetic was offered a chair, but he refused. He kept staring at Swamishri's asana, seat, on the stage. The guru immediately understood. He waved the ascetic onto the stage. He moved over on his asana to make room for the ascetic to sit. Subhashbhai watched this incident unfold from the audience and was in shock. There was a part of him that wanted to shout at the ascetic to get off his guru's asana, but there was a part of him that was too impressed to open his mouth. He watched Swamishri share his asana in his sabha in front of his disciples. Do you hear that? I think the yippee leaked through. Oh well. If you can't beat him, join him. He watched Swamishri stare at his asana in his sabha in front of his disciples with an unknown ascetic from a neighboring village. When I stayed in Tanzania for almost a year to work on one of my writing projects and help Subhashbhai with a matter, he often insisted that I use his chairman's office and his desk. Once, one of his employees quipped, "Yogi, no one dare sit in that chair. I am not sure why he offers it to you." Subhashbhai, however, was impartial. "I would offer this chair to anyone. Ever since that day I watched my guru share his asana with a wandering ascetic. I learned not to be attached to my room, office, or chair, Yogi. You are welcome to come, sit, and work at my desk even if I am away. Despite his own strong personality, the African businessman used Swamishri's life as a benchmark to tame his own ego. Subhashbhai passed away in December of 2020. In the days leading up to his death, we spent many hours reminiscing about our interactions with the Guru. He would often recall this incident and remind me to never get too attached to my position or seat in life. Towards the end of his life, he had some difficulty speaking, but I distinctly recall several of his last clear words to me. Share, love, forgive, accept. Nothing is permanent. Together, care, humble, like Swamishri. I always saw the calm, unassuming side of an otherwise powerful and bold personality. Subhashbhai and I had very little in common. We didn't correspond in age, interests, languages, business interests, but we became best friends over a short period of time. Swamishri's eyeless personality brought us together, kept us together until Subhashbhai's last breath, and encouraged us to support each other on our respective journeys. The most subtle form of eyeless indifference goes beyond comfort and even humility and reflects directly on one's own ego. How does one register and respond to praise and recognition? Nirbhas, that's going to be a good name, Nirbhai Swarup Das Swami noticed such an indifference while driving to the Canadian Parliament on the 13th of June 1988. There was excitement in the car and in fact the entire community. Member of Parliament Bob Kaplan was going to receive and recognize Swamishri for his humanitarian and unifying contributions to society. Swamishri was lost in a different mood. He was intently reading a letter from one of his bhaktas, devotees from rural India. He was sitting with his left leg propped on his right knee. When the car pulled up to the Parliament building, Swamishri was still engrossed in the letter. Nirbhai Swarup Das Swami gently touched Swamishri's knee and alerted him that they have arrived. Swamishri placed the letter down and leaned to exit the car, but his mind was still in India. The attendant sadhu again alerted him that he had not worn his left sandal, which he had taken off while reading the letter. Swamishri put on the sandal and walked out of the car behind his beloved Hare Krishna Maharaj, which is a little statue of his deity that he takes everywhere. While everyone around him was eagerly anticipating his felicitation, Swamishri's mind was focused on his bhakta's pains. A few minutes later, Swamishri's mind became focused on God. When his name was called by the Speaker of Parliament, Swamishri turned to Nirbhai Swarup Das Swami and instructed, "Stand, Nirbhai, stand." Nirbhai Swarup Das Swami recalls the utter confusion in his mind. Why was Swamishri asking him to stand? It was only after he stood up that he realized that Hare Krishna Maharaj was in his hands, his statue. Swamishri wanted Hare Krishna Maharaj to receive the felicitation before he stood up. The MPs were confused by Swamishri's act of bhakti, loving devotion, as well. But those around him understood. Swamishri always put the divine first and did not want to receive the felicitation of his own accord. Similar incidents occurred when the mayor of Nairobi offered Swamishri the key to the city, when Swamishri was honored at the British Parliament, and when Swamishri was received at the United Nations World Peace Summit. This insistence was not a performance but a feeling of submission and love from within, emphasized by his indifference to praise and celebration. Swamishri received warm, elaborate receptions at airport terminals and train stations, in palaces and state houses, on dirty roads and forest paths. They all felt and meant one and the same to him. They were opportunities for him to accept love and offerings in the name of the divine. To him, he was nothing without Bhagwan Swaminarayan, whom his personal form of the divine is named, and his devotees, and therefore nothing else. Object, praise, station, recognition mattered. We'll pause our reading of In Love at Ease there for now. So, thank you for listening as we read.